Hello everyone, my name is Brett, and sometimes I wear a beret, and this is the Captain-Slug Piranha. It is one of the newest blasters to hit Captain Slug's Etsy. I say one of the newest because probably by the time I post this video, another one will be posted there. Thanks Slug, you're a machine. It is a very compact, hopper-fed, push-to-prime blaster that while seems a little bit new, it's not actually. This was first released in 2016. He posted it to Nerf Haven, and it has been updated to kind of fit the 2020 aesthetic. So now you can purchase a blaster like this or assemble it yourself using 3D printing and hardware kits that he has available. And now there's options for a mag-fed version. The original is a hopper-fed version, also still available, but now there are two different variants, which is pretty cool. Now, let's get this out of the way too. Captain Slug did send me this blaster to review for free, so I'm just gonna move that out of the way, just to make it nice and clear. This is Captain Slug's channel now, don't worry about it. So he sent me this blaster completely pre-assembled with a K25 spring installed. He sent me the components to assemble both variants, so I can try the hopper and the mag-fed version, but the mag-fed was currently installed, and I've been playing around with that one first. So what is this blaster? Well, it's weird. It's a weird thing. The strap you see here is included in the blaster kit, and you do need this to fire. It's a half-dart only fed blaster as well. The hopper will only work with half-darts because of this Y right here, just the size of it. Half-darts as well, only for Talon magazines if you are using this piece. Right here in the back is the mag release. It is very tiny, but works just fine. So this is kind of a bullpup. Pop that out, pop a new one in, nice and secure. Slug was also kind enough to let me choose my color scheme, so this should be pretty familiar to what I usually have. White with orange accents, keeping it pretty simple, but I think it turned out pretty nice. And I mean, yes, this can get dirty over time, but whatever. I got a few springs for this one. Right now inside of this is a 788 spring. You did include a K25 with this blaster, and I couldn't operate it with a K25. Now the draw on this is a little shorter than a Caliburn and a little more than a Talon Claw, so somewhere in the middle. I can prime a K25 and probably a K26 for an extended period of time with my Talon Claw because it's a lot shorter draw. But this one, I've primed it once with a K25. It was really tough because this is just different. It took some getting used to, and I will admit this was entirely my fault. In that trial and error, I broke the handle pretty much, so that's no good. You can see it is pretty separated there on both sides. Whoops. You'll obviously get a higher performance with a K25 spring, 788 not as high, and then I also threw in a K31 that I had lying around into this, and that's when I found that, oh, okay, this is totally primable. It's just that these higher springs weren't working so much for me. I should touch on the print quality here really quick before I go on any further because it might be a bit noticeable on camera, and it would be wrong of me to not fully display it to you guys. I've had some of Slug's print quality before. I've gotten a rival burn from him, and I've gotten a whisper from him before, and I've found his prints pretty acceptable. And for a lot of parts here, it's similar. I can see some of the layers, not amazing print quality, but definitely acceptable. But unfortunately, there are other parts here that they look like they're from a completely different printer. I don't know why that's green. Unfortunately, there's some rough parts on here. So I've seen some friends to get their prints from Slug, and he has some gnarly bits on there. I love you, Slug, but you definitely have some of the harsher print qualities. The biggest offender is something I have not put on yet. It is the stock, but that's, oh no, oh gosh, oh dear. That's not a good place for my shoulder. Yeah, I don't think that's a good print. Slightly biased review and all that, but ouch. Not so good. One thing I should also mention that you definitely do not want to lose if you get this blaster is, I believe it's called the Fishhook, and if it's not, it should be called the Fishhook. this piece. This is what's going to be very important for you if you need to open up your blaster and pull the elastic cord through the front, right there. And of course, Captain Slug has the instructions for how to assemble one of these. If you buy the kit and you want to do it yourself, you need to put that hook in and pull the cord so that you can wrap it around one of these sides through here and then connect your strap. And these little, what are they called? Fish bones to give extra spacing to is pretty amusing. And I love that he just kind of came up with those really quickly when he noticed that he needed to reduce some of the slack. Working load limit, 50 pounds. So I'm pretty comfortable that our spring loads are not going to be a problem. In fact, I'm so confident, I just ripped it off. Rip. Just be careful that if you do want to actually take it off from the blaster to fit it around yourself, take it off from the side that's connected to the slide right here. That can be strapped back on really easily, and not right here, because if you take it off from the part that is connected to the elastic cord, well, I guess I'll do it. Oh no, my life. And then you have to do what I just explained. And you gotta go in. I'm going fishing, guys. Oh, I got it. Put it through the back, pull it through, and got it. Yay. So, how does it perform? Well, as I mentioned, I don't really have data for the K25 spring, but I do have data with a 788 spring, and right now I'm getting results kind of all over the place. I'm not exactly sure why. I tested a few types of darts in there, and I quickly reminded myself that the aluminum barrel is not going to like large rubber heads, i.e. the Adventure Force waffle heads, so don't use those. So worker darts seem to be the best option for this blaster. Now I did get some that were high and some that were awkwardly low. Now I don't know if the blaster itself or my unit has some barrel issues or it has some seal issues. I could definitely look into what that seal is like right now, but I was getting some results that were over 150 FPS, and with a 788 spring, that's pretty good. But I was also getting some that were way less than 100, so I don't know if my chronograph was just reading incorrectly. So consistency was kind of off on this guy. Well, that was pretty simple. If you have the components for both the magazine-fed and the hopper-fed variants of the Piranha, it will take you a good 5 minutes to swap the two. Granted, you can't do it on the fly. You will need to sit down and take these things apart because you don't want to lose all the screws, but it's really simple, and I'm actually impressed on how quickly I was able to do that once I just sat down and committed to it. But it still works, and when it did work, it was great. But you've seen this part. Let's look at the hopper-fed variant. And what may have also been clear is that there was a bit of extra resistance on the mag-fed variant. Oh, that's not going to fit super well. Because it's sliding, this bar is sliding against 3D printed parts right here. This version is so much easier to prime. I should have started here, but hey, lessons learned. So I've replaced only the back part here with the hopper components that lead up to this 6-dart, half-dart hopper loading top. That is just a really slick, simple design. Drop a dart in there. Hey, drop 2 darts in there. Turn it, sealed, and you're good to go. And also, as you're priming this, you naturally kind of want to aim it down so it almost lends itself perfectly to this loading style. It's a little bit shorter too. You can see where this would be in the back before. It is a tad bit shorter with the hopper variant. So the front extends a little bit more with the hopper version, and the stock is a little bit closer. And this part doesn't get in the way. It goes right over your shoulder. So now it's my job to tell you what I think about the Piranha. My final thoughts on the hopper-fed variant and the magazine-fed variant. And I feel like I can't give you the perfect opinion right now just because I like to typically play in a game with a blaster first, so I can give you a little bit more perspective on how that went. And because of the world we currently live in, that's not really possible, so hopefully later in this year I can test my Piranha at a game and give you more feedback then. I will admit I am a bit conflicted. This is definitely a weird blaster, and for that reason I can't recommend it to everyone. The Caliburn, the Talon Claw, those have just been absolute monsters in the nerfing community, in the 3D printing communities. Everyone who goes to games now probably has some inkling of what a Caliburn or Talon Claw is, and they're capable of, yeah, a lot of power. This is also capable of a lot of power with a higher spring in here. Again, this is a 788 spring right now, and it's pretty easy to prime this with the hopper variant. Make sure you point it down to have a dart into the barrel. It fires really well. When I was chronographing this one, I was getting a little bit more consistent results, though you will probably find that as you get less and less darts, the performance will be a little bit lower. Perfectly reasonable for a 150 FPS capped game, which makes me happy. So I know that that configuration works. There's also a rail right here if you want to put an optic. Sure, I don't know, but options are there. Maybe a dart holder for like half dart options so you can just quickly pull from the blaster too. I kind of wish I'd started with the hopper version first because I do think I like this more than the magazine fed variant. That said, 6 dart capacity in the hopper means you're going to have to reload a bit more frequently. It's quick and easy, but magazines are also really quick and easy, and with Talon magazines, that's going to give you at least 15 rounds when you reload. So that's a pretty good option too. There's just a lot more mechanical resistance when I prime that one, and because the bar is a little more free-floating when you prime it too, there's a chance that it gets stuck and then it doesn't necessarily feed the next dart properly. At 95 bucks assembled, probably, you know, over 100 after shipping, it's not cheap. It's a little bit more than an Esper, it's a little bit less than a Talon Claw or a Caliburn before adding anything on too, so it's kind of in the middle. But this is where it's going to lose some people because it's just weird, and goofy is good, don't get me wrong, but one common myth, I think when people saw this, was that they thought, oh sweet, a one-armed prime blaster, that's going to be so great. And you can do that, I just did that right there. Oh, I blew the head off. So you can do that, but I am really concerned about my handle right now. I guess I shouldn't be too concerned because it's already broken. With a higher spring load, I would not be trying to do that because I know where the forces are going into this blaster and the 3D prints may not hold up. Not to say that people aren't making some very strong 3D prints, it's just that people might not fully understand how the forces work through the prints in this blaster. So it really is recommended that you hold with your other hand to the front as you prime it, because you're gonna have a bad time if your handle snaps off during a game. One in each hand, just going back and forth, is not gonna work. I don't even know if that would be good for your neck, having 2 straps around the entire time. But it's nice that you can just do this and, you know, you can have another blaster, blah, 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 and then just pull this up and go. Keep that on the back. And then reach for it and go. If you're looking to complete your Captain-Slug 3D printed blaster catalog, then this is for you, and you've already purchased one, so why are you watching this video? But I think it still is a very unique design, and I really do want to get a chance to play with it a little bit more to let you know if this is something that I would gravitate towards. It's definitely unique. I mean, I don't know how many times I've said that, but that's what it is. It's a weird fish. It's a piranha. See the teeth. So those are my initial thoughts. Again, some of the printing could be a little bit better too. We'll see if any more changes come to this platform. I'm sure they will because that's what Slug does. But if you're interested in picking one up for yourself, there will be a link in the description box below, wherever that is. And of course, you can find all the instructions there on how to assemble one if you printed parts yourself. Thank you everyone for watching. Let me know what you think of fishy blasters, and I will see you later.